Synopsis of the books of the Bible. Leviticus. By J.N. Darby. All Scripture is given by inspiration of God, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, truly furnished unto all good works. 2 Timothy 3 verses 16 and 17. Synopsis of the books of the Bible. By John Nelson Darby. Leviticus chapter 27. God's rights in all devoted to him, his absolute title. The last chapter, 27, treats of the rights and the appointments of God in all that relates to things which are devoted to him through the medium of priesthood. This necessarily finds its place in that which treats of priesthood, but it has, I doubt not, a much wider meaning. The subject treated is that of him who devotes himself to God, and that of the lands belonging to him, of the rights of Israel, whose possession it was not, and of their selling it to others. As to Christ, he offered himself without spot to God, he was valued at a low price. Israel by right belonged to Jehovah. As Emmanuel's land, the Israelites only enjoyed the land without being proprietors, and they could only pledge it till Jubilee. It would then return to its possessor as Emmanuel's land. Israel, looked at as the possessor of the gift of God, not having redeemed it when sold to the stranger. When the Jubilee comes, the land will be absolutely the Lord's. The priest will possess it. In Zechariah 11, Christ is thus valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value. I only point out the principle presented in the chapter, without pretending to enter into all the details of application which may suggest themselves. The principle is the important thing to enable one to understand the purpose of God, in the case of any vow, whether it be redeemed or not, or of land, whether it shall return in the day of Jubilee, when God shall take possession again of his rights in the land of Israel, and cause to enter those whose right it is. Thus the government of God, resulting in his return and grace to his unconditional promise and earthly purpose are given to us in chapter 26. And the absolute title of Jehovah in chapter 27. Chapter 26 is, in fact, a parenthesis showing God's ways, with return to his promise in grace. Chapter 25 man's redeeming, if he could, or his kinsman. Chapter 27 God's absolute title. The judgment entrusted to the priest shows plainly it is to Christ as priest and king. It is to be observed also, that the judgment is according to the judgment of the priest. But although this be attributed to the priest, it is to the king in Jeshurun, the upright, that the appreciation is entrusted. This shows plainly who is to do it, and under what character, though being according to the discernment, the grace, and the rights of priesthood. It is Christ as priest, but Christ as king in Israel, who will order all that.